We also are going to cook rice the regular method because not everybody has a rice cooker. We brought the rice cooker to tell you, you can get a rice cooker, guys, for like $20 at Walmart. It's not expensive. Rice is an affordable food. We talk about rice in a lot of the recipes we make here. So check into it. It's really nice. It's convenient, especially for a recipe like we're making tonight, the turkey fried rice. But knowing everybody does not have a rice cooker, we're gonna make it the old-fashioned way. So go ahead and grab a small a small saucepan with a lid on it. You've made rice with us before, so we're going to go ahead and get that going.
So look, basically what we do is after we clean the rice, we fill it up and then make sure your rice is level. And then once it's level, take your index finger from the bottom. When you touch the rice, the water should be just enough for your index finger.
Okay.
Isn't that funny? So like that, just that amount.
Okay, so it's like the nail of your index finger.
Your nail of your index finger
should have enough water covering it. That's an interesting tip,
that?
John. That's
so it's just
awesome.
right there, and it'll come out perfect every single time.
Okay, well, hey,
Who knew?
That's what I love about having chefs come and work with us in the kitchen. They always teach me something new. And now we all have an interesting way to measure our rice. You put the rice in, you rinse the rice with the water, you make sure the water is clear, and then put your index finger in and only let the water level before it touches the rice to come just over your nail. Right? Did I do that right?
You are so perfect with that.
Okay, good. So now that we've got our rice going, you should have your water boiling, you should have your rice, is it covered at this point?
Yeah, so
okay.
if you're using a skillet, medium heat, warm water, it doesn't need to be quite boiling. It just needs to be, if you have it covered, it's going to boil anyway. But once you uncover it, pour your rice in, cover it, mix. It's very important that you mix your rice so it's not just like one big pile. It needs to be level, so all the rice cooks evenly.
Okay.
Super, super important. Medium heat, keep it covered until they're done.
And now we're going to go on and we're going to make, now that the rice is cooking, let's get moving on making all the other ingredients.
Yes.
So what's the first thing we do?
So the first thing that we're gonna make, so basically this recipe calls for like a ragu, right? So basically we're making like a meat sauce.
So we've got your garlic in your meal kit. Go ahead and slice the top off the garlic, and you're gonna do how many cloves?
Again, I'm very flexible with this, right? Each clove is a little bit different. For 1 pound, we'll use, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. We'll use 5 cloves. Okay. Give or take.
Okay. Well,
I love garlic. By the way.
I love garlic too. I love the smell of garlic. Is that crazy? But I do. Well, you go ahead and you're chopping up the garlic. I'm going to turn to our families, and I'm going to see if anybody has any questions. Thank you for showing me your beautiful faces, by the way. I know some of you don't feel comfortable having the camera on, but if you do, we love seeing your faces. We love seeing you cook. So I'm opening it up. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and unmute yourself. Ask the questions now, and we'll continue going on. Is everyone doing okay? Thumbs up.
If I'm talking too fast, I tend to talk really fast. So
you're doing good.
If I need to slow down, I will slow down for anybody.
You're doing good. Okay, I'm seeing lots of thumbs ups. Okay, so we are going on, and we're peeling our garlic. In your recipe, I believe you called for 5 cloves of garlic.
Did I?
Yeah, but you can do just, as John said, if you like it, do more. If you don't like it, don't even add it if you don't want to.
Yeah, like look, for the purposes of having a recipe to look at, we have a recipe. To be honest with you, I hate recipes. I don't follow any recipes because why? Because I think like cooking, it comes from the heart, right? And like, when it's like love, right? Like if you say how much do you love your husband or your wife, like you can't measure that. You can't. There's no like 1 cup of love. No, you just love them infinite, right? And so I think cooking is the same way, where like you cook with love and you cook with care. And so like if you like a lot of garlic, put 10 cloves if you want. If you want, you know what I mean? Like as long as you do it with love, it's all that matters. So
tell us about your restaurant. And maybe our families might not realize what a faux restaurant is. But John's restaurant is called Tran. So you can look that up. How many locations do you have in Miami?
So right now we have 2 locations, 2.5 locations, I guess, because we have a outlet in Wynwood that is once a week. So we have 2 locations at the moment, working on more projects, but we'll.
Right.
Yeah.
And pho, it took me a long time to understand that's how you say it. Is that how you say it? Am I saying it right?
Pho.
Pho. It's pho. I am saying it wrong. Okay?
No, you're not saying it wrong. But, you know, look, pho, yeah, so like pho is basically like the most famous food in Vietnam. Basically what it is a clear broth, a meat-based broth with rice noodles, thin rice noodles, and that you eat with tons of herbs like bean sprouts, red onion, Thai basil, scallion, cilantro, and so you know that's what. And then we eat it for breakfast, we eat it for lunch, we eat it for dinner, we can eat it as a snack, and it's the most famous food. So that's what we kind of do in the restaurant.
And if you're Googling at home, it's PHO.
PHO, yeah.
PHO, and it's called pho, not pho.
Pho. You can call it whatever you want. I don't know.
All right, so we got our garlic.
Okay. Next we have our scallions. Now, the scallions we're gonna put at the end of our ragu. We're not gonna cook these scallions because it's an herb. I don't like to cook herbs because they wilt and they they discolor. So I like to keep them at the end as more of a garnish. But we're gonna cut these just so we have them
ready.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so how do you cut an onion? Do you keep the whites? Do you keep the greens? I like to keep everything. And you don't have to cut them so perfect. You can cut them as big or as small as you want, right? And I'll show you a couple ways that I like to cut onions, right? Or scallions. So we can separate the greens from the whites. Look, if you want to use batons, which I love, and you want to use them as a garnish, you can. Again, batons are basically like that, right? And then what you can do with the whites is that you can just take your knife, you can lay them all flat, hand, and basically what I'm doing is I'm going to cut half.
I've never seen that technique before. I'm usually the one that just goes and starts cutting straight down. You're cutting horizontally.
We're cutting horizontally, and then we're going to make little ribbons. And so what you end up with are like kind of like cool ribbons.
Yes.
Right? So that's one way. And then the other way, the traditional way, is basically just keeping the scallion. I'm going to put that to the side. Keeping the scallion, keeping the rubber band on, so you have them all in one bunch. And that helps you keep the scallions. And make sure they're all tight in your hand. And we start from the ends, and then we're just going to cut them nice and thin. If you guys can see how I'm doing that.
Yes, they've got an overhead camera on you. I see, you can see, John, you can see Nancy up there showing you her onions. They're getting the cutting board out.
Where are the onions?
See Nancy? Can
Nancy,
you show us
me your onions, Nancy.
She's not, there she is. She's showing you. She's got them. So she's working on
keep
them.
the rubber band, keep that rubber band on, so that
Keeps it all together.
Keeps it all together. And then I'm just cutting them nice, little thin. And if you want to use the whole scallion, use it. If you don't like that onion flavor, you don't have to use it. Again, we're very, very flexible in this kitchen, guys. Okay? That's about good enough for me.
Great.
Cool. And then I didn't even use the whole thing.
So you can save that for something else.
Save that for something else. Save for stock. Or just use it for more garnish. I don't know.
Yeah.
You use it for whatever you want to use it for. Okay?
Right.
Cool. All right. So we have our onion. We have our garlic. We have our scallions. Right? So this is the part where we want to get everything ready. Right? So I have my vegetable mix. I'm going to use this one. This one has peas and carrots only. Okay, where can I put this?
And John, I'm just looking here. We have to get you eggs. How many eggs do you need?
I have eggs. I have them here.
Great.
I have eggs. That's going to be later.
Good.
That'll be
I
later.
just wanted to make sure. Okay.
We're
so
good.
we've got peas and carrots. I'm not sure what you all have in your meal kits. I can't remember what the mixed vegetable is, but John's saying really
Doesn't matter.
Any type of frozen vegetable you can get works with this recipe.
Right. Okay. And then we have our ground turkey, right? So make sure we have everything that we need. What we need for this stew is honey, fish sauce. Do you know what kind of fish sauce you guys got them?
Wait, can someone put up their fish sauce? It's in a container. Alessandra would probably know what kind of fish sauce we have, but you should have a container, a souffle container of fish sauce. You should have a container of grapeseed oil. Yep, they should have all of those. I don't think they have a branded fish sauce.
No worries. Well, so
one of the small containers, and it's a darker sauce.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So don't be afraid of smelling your fish sauce. I know it's a very foreign smell. Don't be afraid of it. It may smell funky. Your kids are gonna like not like it. Don't bring it on your kids. It's not a good idea. But like it doesn't taste the way it smells. Okay, so I don't want people to be like, I'm not eating that. Get that away from me. No, it actually, this is the basis of like everything that we do at the restaurant,
right,
and in Vietnamese cooking. Like
yes.
this is life.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
This is like everything.
I'm curious,
I want to make sure that
has anybody out there used fish sauce before? If you have, raise your hand if you've used fish sauce before. Yes, I see a couple hands going up. Good. So we have some familiarity with it. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and for the purposes of this recipe, when we're making fried rice, a lot of times we see on TV, people use soy sauce and like a lot of other sauces for fried rice, and I feel like for me, soy sauce and fried rice that's blasphemy for me.
So soy sauce is not in your fried rice.
Soy sauce is not in my fried rice, and that seems weird, but that's how I was raised,
that's how you're raised.
And that's just the way it goes.
Good.
And to be honest, it's life changing. So after this recipe, I hope this changes your mind about how to make fried rice.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So let's get this going, right?
Let's get it going.
I don't want to ruin your phone.
No, I'm gonna move it over here. Yep. There we go.
All right. So before we start cooking, please don't tell me. All right. There we go. So first things first. When we start cooking, I like to cook on a very high heat. Don't be afraid of heat. Heat brings out flavors that you don't get when you're like slow cooking something. So even especially when we're making like some sort of stir fry situation, high heat is essential to what we're doing. Okay? Okay. So we're using, I think in the recipe calls for grapeseed oil.
Yes.
You can use any oil that you want.
So they have grapeseed oil, and grapeseed oil is a high smoking point, is what you're basically going to
Exactly.
say. You can also use canola oil. So in your meal kit, you have a souffle cup with a lid on of oil. Go ahead and put that oil into your skillet, and John says, don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Turn that heat up. Get that heat going.
Very, very important. Before you even put that pan on with high heat and put oil in, make sure your pan is nice and dry. If that pan is wet by you'll get splattered.
You'll get splattered.
And you do not want that. That's
right.
Bad news for everyone in your area. Okay. So let that oil come to a smoke, right? And we're gonna go fast with this, guys, okay? So it's important that we have everything lined up, and we're gonna go in order. It's important that we cook in order,
okay,
right? And I'll kind of explain to you what I mean by that, but it's important that we cook in order, right? Okay. So first things first, we are gonna cook. We're gonna make the base for our ragu, and that's the turkey, right? Again, depending on what kind of meat you use, that's the sound you want to hear. Depending on the type of meat that you use, will determine how much oil you start the pan off with. Turkey is a low-fat meat, so we want to make sure we have a lot of oil on hand so that it compensates for the lack of fat in the turkey. Okay?
Okay.
So we'll get that going.
All right, I see skillets out there. I see people. If you have a camera and you feel comfortable turning it on, we'd love to see you cook. We'd love to see you cook with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got your pound of ground turkey in your hot oil. And what are you looking for here? Are you looking to brown it? Or?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So look, we want the bottom of the pan to be kind of brown. We want the pieces of meat to kind of start turning brown. We want a large...
We don't want pale, sad meat.
You do want... Nobody wants pale, sad meat.
Nobody wants pale, sad meat. No, let's get that nice and brown.
Let's get that nice and brown. And it's also important that as you are adding ingredients to your skillet, the temperature of the skillet changes, right? And we always want to keep a high temperature. We always want to keep a high temperature on our skillet. Very important. Okay? And again, don't rush it. Take your time.
And so there's very little fat in ground turkey, you mentioned. So you don't need to go through a process of draining fat from this meat. But if you were using a ground beef, would you recommend draining the fat, or do you just keep it in there?
No,
keep the fat in there.
Don't ever drain the fat.
Oh, that's the way my mom taught me. I would make spaghetti, and she'd do the ground beef, and then she'd drain the fat out.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Because the flavor is in the fat.
Yeah.
I know. I should know that.
Don't do that. You know?
Right.
And plus, we're making fried rice. Usually when you're eating something, you're eating it with a starch or something like that. So that's going to soak up all that fat also. So like you got to compensate for what you're mixing it with, right? So that's what we're doing. Okay. So we're almost there, guys. So what we're looking for in our skillet is for all the water to be cooked off before we add anything else, right? As you can see, whenever it's leaching water as it's cooking, right? And don't rush this process, guys. It's so important that we do not rush something as simple as browning meat, which a lot of people do, right? Because you want everything in there. You want everything to start cooking as fast as possible. So I can't stress this enough that take your time, and the end product will bring itself to you. You know what I mean? You don't have a glass of wine, have some water. You know what I mean? Like,
enjoy the cooking process.
Go watch a cartoon with your kid. Who cares? Sing a song.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so look, we are almost there, right? All the water we're looking like it's looking nice. It should smell nice, right? Okay. Also, another thing that helps is seasoning your meat as you go along. Do they have salt in there? Do they have salt in there
they have salt in their home. That's a staple that we assume. They have salt and pepper.
Okay. Yeah. Season your meat. That also helps with the browning and the leaching of the water. So like it'll help kind of extract
the water out
some of that water out. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Oh, by the way, I always make sure that I have my bane with me before I start cooking also. Very important also. It just helps keep your tools clean so you don't have like messy tools everywhere. I have all my tools that I have to clean in water so that it's organized. Right? It's like I can't.
You are one of our most organized chefs yet, and I know those families that have participated in these cooking classes before can speak like I am. We have our ingredients all ready to go, all organized in the way that we need it. We've got our tools and water, so it makes cleanup easy. I'm loving this. This is great.
And that's a challenge to every chef that comes in this kitchen.
Yeah, they have to be as organized as John.
You will not be, I promise you. Okay, so look, guys. You hear that? You smell that?
Yes,
I mean,
it's great.
That's great. There's no water. We're browning. Everyone's happy. So look, right as you start seeing things stick to the bottom of the pan, which you see that, Stacey?
Mm-hmm. Yep,
I see that?
It. Yep.
So look, we don't want it to burn. So what we'll do is we'll just add those beautiful chopped onions that you made for me earlier, right? And what this is going to do is, as these onions, and we're also going to add the garlic that we chopped as well, right? And what we're doing here is actually, have you guys know what deglazing your pan means? Does everyone know that?
We've heard that term before, but go ahead and explain it.
So deglazing your pan means that you're adding moisture to your pan to release all the bits from the bottom of the pan, because that's where all the flavor is, right? All these little brown bits that are kind of like burning at the bottom of the pan, we don't want to lose that. We don't want to waste that. We want to keep that. And so deglazing your pan means you're adding moisture to the bottom of that pan.
And what's interesting here is the moisture is not coming in the form of liquid, it's coming in the form of the onion.
Correct.
Because the onion has a lot of water content to
Correct.
it. So the onion is something you're using to deglaze. It just
You've been around chefs before, huh?
Been around a few, but it's occurring to me that that's exactly what's happening here. So we've got our garlic. Just to repeat, we've got our turkey. We made sure that our turkey is browned and no liquid. We have added now the red onion and the garlic, and we're stirring that together.
So look, sometimes it's not always perfect, right? Sometimes you try not to add liquid, but sometimes you have to because sometimes your pan's too hot. Maybe you don't have enough vegetables. Maybe, for whatever reason. So it's always nice to have just a little bit of water on hand so you can help that process right along, right?
Okay.
You just want to help that process.
So you knew to add water because you saw that you weren't getting enough of those brown bits coming up just
Yeah,
from the
exactly,
onion. Okay.
exactly. So you kind of want to help that process along, all right? And it's not cheating. I mean, it may be a little bit cheating, but hey, at the end of the day, we're trying to feed people here. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We don't want to burn anything.
No, we don't.
Okay. Okay. So look, the onions should start getting translucent. We don't want to overcook them. Okay. So at this point, and now, why do I add the vegetables? These vegetables last. Well, one, they're already cooked, right? And so once we add these frozen veggies in, everything else goes in, and then we're done.
Okay.
Okay? So it's very important that once you add these veggies, we have our fish sauce on hand, we have our honey on hand, we have our salt and pepper on hand, and we should be all good, right?
Okay.
Okay? Everyone with me?
I think everyone's there.
Everyone thumbs up? Can I get a thumbs up from everyone?
Yep.
Yes, I see 2 thumbs up. Okay, I love it. Let me see y'all's pans. What can I see?
There.
Can I see what's going on here?
Let's
Oh my
come.
God!
See?
Does it smell good? Do you guys like the smell? Does it smell good?
Thank you,
Look at that,
Emmanuel.
look at that.
Awesome job.
All right. Okay, so onions are translucent. It's smelling really good. We're getting good browning at the bottom of the pan. Now we add our frozen veggies. Again, when you add your veggies, again, there's so much water in these veggies that they're gonna also deglaze the pan. Okay?
And it's okay that they're not thawed out. They came
Yeah.
straight from the freezer, straight into the pan.
You almost want them frozen.
Yeah.
You don't want them to be thawed out. You want them frozen because they take so little time to cook that, like, if you try to cook them for too long, they'll just be mushy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It won't be nice. Okay? So again, we're just gonna throw them in there. Don't mess around with it too much. Let it go. Now we add all of our seasonings.
Okay.
Yes? Okay.
So how much fish sauce are we adding? They've got fish sauce
They have
in
like,
a
what,
4
2
ounce. They
ounce-
have
4
4
ounce?
ounces. Yep.
So look, I would add maybe 2 ounces.
Okay, so
Don't add all the fish sauce because we want to add fish sauce at the end. Again, it's very fickle, right? Because sometimes maybe you don't want all that fish sauce flavor at the beginning. Maybe you've added too much salt before. You just kind of have to wait up.
Would you say maybe a tablespoon or 2 is what you just added?
What I added was, yeah, you could probably say that. Probably a little less, but yeah, tablespoon, maybe like half a tablespoon, maybe
Okay.
3/4 of a tablespoon, maybe.
Okay. Great.
Is that fair?
Great.
Okay.
And now we're adding
Just
honey.
a touch of honey. On the recipe, I think it calls for how much? 2 ounces,
I think so.
maybe.
So you're doing another, what would you say, teaspoon, tablespoon?
I'd say another ounce. Yeah, maybe another tablespoon.
Okay.
Again, once you add the honey, then like you have to really make sure that you move your pan because you don't want to burn.
So now let me ask you this: why did you add honey? What are
I
you
love-
looking for with
So,
that?
honey, what honey does is it caramelizes the meat. So as you cooking, you'll see everything start to kind of come together. It kind of emulsifies the whole mixture together, right? And it adds a really unique flavor to this ragu.
Yes,
Right?
that's a really good tip. I have not seen that honey being used in making this type of ragu.
Yeah, so I think the recipe also calls for sugar. So go ahead and add your sugar in. I don't think we have our sugar. I think we forgot our sugar.
Okay.
Anyways, guys, you guys should have sugar available. Yes? Thumbs up? Sugar?
Yeah, they have sugar.
Dump the
Great.
sugar in. I don't have sugar here because
And how much sugar?
I think it was in the recipe. I
Okay.
forget how much it was.
All right.
So go ahead and add that sugar in. You're like, but why did you add honey and sugar? Don't they do the same things? No, right? Sugar is to give it give it more help to caramelize. You want those brown crispy bits because when you burn sugar, it turns brown, and then honey is more to kind of reinforce that kind of sweetness and flavor, right?
Okay.
So it's different purposes,
Great.
right?
Very good. We have made a different type of ragu before. We made a bolognese.
It's very similar.
And it did call for sugar.
There it is.
Yeah.
They also
That-
have tomatoes in it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, but that's another form of sugar,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So tomatoes is a different type of sugar than actual sugar. So again, that's another form of ragu,
Right.
like two forms of sugars to achieve the same purpose.
Exactly.
Right? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm adding a little bit more salt. Be careful with the salt because we did add fish sauce. Okay. Black pepper. Again, if you don't like black pepper, or if you have a lot of kids, or if you're feeding kids, sorry, then don't add
Too much black pepper.
Yeah. But we're okay here. Okay.
Okay, so just to recap, we've got in our skillet right now the ground turkey. We've got the onion, the garlic, the frozen vegetables, the fish sauce, the honey, the sugar, salt and pepper, which you're tasting right now for seasoning, and good.
We're looking solid.
We're looking good.
I'm gonna add a little bit more honey. It's a little salty, which is okay.
And I know vinegar is another ingredient you called for.
Vinegar, yes, but that's for the rice. That's not
Oh,
for the
that's
ragu.
for the rice.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
If you want to add it in there, like, be very, very careful with it.
Thank
You have sugar?
you.
It's okay.
Do you want sugar?
Yeah. Can you get it really quickly? White.
White sugar. We're getting sugar.
We're getting sugar, guys. Okay. So at this point, I'm gonna turn off the heat. Oh, I see someone's. What are you dipping in that honey, Nancy? that honey is for our ragu, not for your dipping. Huh? Huh?
She's on mute.
I see you.
Yes.
I see everything.
This has been a very quiet group tonight, and I just want to remind you, if you do have questions, feel free to unmute yourself. Ask questions of John. Maybe have him slow down, repeat some steps, whatever you need. Feel free to unmute yourself.
So I have turned off the heat. Amazing.
Our magic elf just showed up in the kitchen with sugar. How nice
Not
is that?
too much, okay? Just enough, okay? Not too much.
All right.
You want to taste this with me?
Yes, I'd love to.
So, in a second, so we're gonna mix that in. Okay. Now, I turned off the heat, okay? We're done. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna toss in our scallions off the heat. We wanna keep that really vibrant color of the scallions, okay? And we're just gonna fold it in, okay?
Beautiful. I love when we cook with color, and we've got a lot of color in this dish.
Oh yeah. Smells good.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, you guys enjoying the smells so
Yeah.
far?
They're probably getting very hungry.
Is everyone getting hungry?
Oh yeah, I know I am.
All right. For those of you not cooking in a rice cooker, please check your rice.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay.
Give me a thumbs up. Make sure that rice is not burnt or overcooked.
You got a
Perfect.
thumbs up. There you
Did
go.
I save anybody? Did I save lives just now?
You got.
I had my mental timer on, so I was like,
Yeah, we
want
got
to make sure
rice
that rice, Emmanuel, that rice doesn't look like it's quite cooked, or is it? How are we looking?
It's pretty
Thumbs up?
white. Like
What's
yeah,
that?
It's pretty white. It looks good. No
It looks good?
translucent rices anywhere.
Okay, so It's important that you go all the way to the bottom of the pan. Make sure you don't have mushy rice. If you check your rice and you see it's not cooked enough or it's too raw or it needs some more time, the worst thing you can do is start stirring it around. You just want to leave it alone, right?
Okay.
Because we want to make sure that it finishes cooking. You shouldn't see any more water. You know, it should
Oh
just
yeah,
be
all the water's gone. All the water is very much gone.
perfect. Perfect. So yeah, so what you're doing right now is you're fluffing up the rice, which is perfect. So for those of you that have finished the rice, put it to the side, and I will tell you what to do with it in a second. So let's taste this.
Is this what we're
Yeah,
tasting?
please. So this is what we're going to mix in our fried rice.
Perfect.
Isn't that good?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Taste the
And
honey.
you can taste the sweetness in it, but it's not overwhelming. And
Yeah.
even the fish sauce, I hardly even taste the fish sauce in it.
Right.
I taste the saltiness from it.
Guys, I want you to taste this ragu. I want you to taste it as you're cooking because it's important that we understand. It's important that you understand like what you're going to be eating while you're cooking it, right? If it needs more salt, if it needs more sugar or honey or whatever it is that you want, make sure that you add it in now so that when you put the final product together, you're not like, wait a minute, this doesn't taste the way that I want it to taste.
Tastes
So
good.
take your time. There's no heat. There's nothing should be cooking. We're just tasting food. We're making sure that everything is on point. Yeah? Thumbs up?
Yep, we got it.
Cool. So I'm gonna put that to the side. We're gonna save this skillet also. Do not put this skillet in the sink when you're done with it. Keep it. We're
Alright.
we're gonna keep all that flavor in that pan.
Okay.
Very important. I didn't even use this, but if you guys have a metal straight edge spatula, also very helpful in like scraping up some of those
The bottom.
bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just but as you can see, I didn't even use it, and we're just fine.
It's working.
It's working out. Okay. So I got a mixing bowl or just any bowl that you want set to the side, and then we're gonna dump our turkey mixture into here. Okay. How's everyone doing? Is everyone happy right now? Is everyone sad? Is everyone like nervous?
We got thumbs up. Everyone's doing well.
Please don't be nervous. And even if it's not exactly how you imagine it to be, don't be afraid. It's okay. You know?
So you explain the process here of why you're moving it from the skillet into a large bowl. Is it just to make it easier to mix up?
So this is just holding. We do
Okay.
because we want to save this skillet.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna make. This skillet is what we're gonna make our fried rice in.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
So we put the mixture aside.
Yeah.
We're back to the skillet.
Okay. So now we are onto our rice. Okay. So for anyone that's cooking with a rice cooker, I don't know if anyone is or not, but this is how easy it is. Notice how we haven't even forgot.
We haven't even touched
We
it.
forgot it was there, right?
Yes.
Like
Oh,
are we
yeah,
making
what?
fried rice or are we making something else? I don't know. So on the fried rice, there's two settings. There's rice cooking and there's keep warm. Keep warm is you're just holding the rice.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really. You can keep that rice till tomorrow, and just don't unplug it. It's there.
Just leave it.
And look at that.
Perfect rice.
Make sure that. I want everyone to see this. I want everyone to
Let's
see how easy and fluffy that rice is.
Well, the Madsen will give us an overhead shot. Madsen can do that in a second.
Look, and I was grabbing a spoon,
Yeah.
and look,
There we go.
like, there's no moisture, very fluffy,
Yeah.
and nothing stuck to the bottom. You see that? I mean, that's what we want.
So a lot of fried rice recipes call for cooked rice that's like a day old.
Right.
Why is that, and is that necessary that it has to be rice that was cooked a day before you use it in a fried rice recipe?
So, like, again, fried rice, the reason why you use day-old rice is because you want dry rice. You don't want wet rice to go into the skillet because it's going to stick to the skillet,
Okay.
and you don't want that. So that's why a lot of recipes call for day-old rice. But to be honest with you, if you make rice correctly,
there
there
shouldn't be
there shouldn't be, you'll be completely okay with using fresh rice. Okay, as you can see, like this is going to be just fine for us.
Great.
Okay. Make sure you taste it.
That's hot.
You want to
Don't
taste
burn
it?
your tongue. Sure.
I mean, it's like perfect
It's
rice.
very fluffy. You're
Super
right.
fluffy.
It's fluffy and cooked perfectly.
Yeah, and that's what we want.
All right. So, John, I'm going to have to go out and buy a rice cooker now. I don't have a rice cooker.
I have an Amazon Prime account. You can use mine. I can help you out. You know.
I will
Next
have
day
to
delivery.
take notes. Yes.
Right.
I'm a big
If you-
fan now.
If you want to use my account, I can help. I can hook you up. Like
I
we're
happen
good.
to order a lot on Amazon,
There
so
it is.
I'm good.
All you need, and again, Walmart, Target. I don't know. Like if you can find rice cookers anywhere.
Anywhere.
But again, the important thing to know is about is that they shouldn't be expensive. Like
Right.
$30, $25. Like
Yeah.
really, that's like I'm serious. That's all you need, right?
Right.
And they all work the same. They all work.
There
the
isn't
same.
a particular
No,
brand or
there's
anything.
no. They all work the same. Okay.
So now we're moving over to this camera real quickly to pour our rice. There we go. So we have a bowl with our ragu reserved. Now we have another bowl that we're pouring our rice into.
Okay. And so this basically, just what we're doing is getting a bowl and we're just like kind of fluffing it,
Fluffing the rice.
right?
There's no-
And we're drying it, right? And that's what again, day-old rice is not necessary. What we want to do is we just kind of make sure that there's no clumps, right? Make sure that we are. Is everyone comfortable with the rice that they've made?
I think we've got, yep.
I
we do. We've got rice.
Yeah.
All right.
Any thumbs up out there? Can I get a thumbs up from anybody with the rice?
Rice
Maybe
ready? Yeah, we got
maybe some sideways thumbs is okay. If your rice is not perfect, it's okay. We're gonna eat this ragu.
Right.
You know, if you have overcooked your rice, okay. Let's just do this. If you have overcooked rice, or you have raw rice, or you have unsalvageable rice, dump it in the garbage. Don't serve that to your family, right? But you probably have salad, or you have like, you know, frozen French fries, or you have like more veggies.
Right.
You know, mix
Noodles.
it in. Noodles.
Yep.
Just, like mix it.
Yep.
It's okay. Don't use rice. We'll make fried something else, right? My point is that just because we're making fried rice, we started with fried rice. If you mess up along the way, make something else. Don't try to make one particular dish.
Right.
We have this delicious ragu that you can mix with anything. Mashed potatoes, roasted potatoes, French fries, greens.
It's very versatile, so you can use this for
Anything,
very different
okay?
starches, right?
But for the purposes of what we're doing today, we're making fried rice. Okay? Cool. All right. So let's move on. While the rice is drying, we'll put that to the side. Let that kind of like hang out. We're gonna make our egg sauce. Now, were we gonna make the blended egg sauce, or were we gonna make the?
We have a couple of people out there that don't have blenders,
No problem.
so we're gonna go ahead and do it a different way.
No problem. So we are going to make a kind of a curdled scrambled egg.
Curdled
Right.
scrambled
We'll make
egg.
a scrambled egg, right? But we'll do it like in a very French way. It'll be a soft scramble, sour cream, you know, and we can use that as a sauce. You can kind of ladle that over your fried rice or mix it in,
Okay.
and it'll be really delicious.
Great.
Okay. Okay. So so before we even start this, make sure that you are all clean. Again, guys, I do not want you guys to continue to cook on a dirty kitchen. You know, take your time. You know, you do not want all this mess and trash into your final product. Okay? Thumbs up. Everyone cool?
We're good.
There's no rush. Okay? All right. So, non-stick skillet. Make sure that we have one of these.
And if we don't,
Use a regular skillet.
do they need to put some oil in it or
Yeah,
anything
you're
like
just gonna
that?
make sure you're just gonna need to have oil and butter,
Okay.
preferably. But if you don't have butter, it's completely okay too. Just use oil.
Okay.
Use the same oil that we use for this recipe.
Right. And just
Don't wash this pan. Sorry to cut you off. I cannot. If you
Nobody
do not wash this
does
pan,
that.
keep it. That's the only dirty thing that should be in your area.
And
This pan.
the only dirty thing.
Okay.
I was just going to mention, John, for some of these people who don't have a nonstick skillet or don't have a blender or don't have a rice cooker, Some of the places I think are worth looking in are the Goodwill stores or the Salvation Army. I mean, it's amazing how many people donate pots and pans and things they just don't keep around anymore.
Yeah.
So you can actually go and find them relatively inexpensive, and nonstick skillet is something that's essential to have.
I mean, also, if you're looking for inexpensive things, I mean, Goodwill and Salvation Army and thrift stores are great, but like also like restaurant supply stores, right? Like you can find like $10 aluminum pans at the restaurant supply store. Like, and there's, you know what I mean? And you Jetro or Restaurant Depot or, I mean,
Right.
obviously you need memberships for those, but like there's a lot of smaller restaurant supply stores that sell like really
Yes.
inexpensive cookware.
Good tip.
Okay?
Very good tip.
All right. So, everyone ready? Is everyone ready for eggs?
Okay. Get your eggs ready.
Eggs.
You got
Okay.
them in your meal kit. Thumbs up, thumbs up.
Thumbs
We're
up,
ready to go.
thumbs up. Cool. So, we have 4 eggs with us. You can cook however many eggs you want based on how many people you're feeding, but we have 4. Okay? So, for the purposes of the recipe, we have 4. Okay? Everyone cool with that? All right. So, what we're going to do, grab a mixing bowl or any bowl, and we are going to just crack them and then scramble them. Okay?
All right.
Yep. Everyone cool with
Right,
that?
everyone's ready for you.
Awesome.
So we've got 4 eggs. This is perfect. We're looking to feed a family of 4 with this recipe. So
Right.
we've got 4 eggs, cracking them in. You're not adding milk or anything,
Look,
are you?
I don't, again, yes, you can,
Yeah.
but you don't have to.
We're just doing the egg.
It's
itself.
completely okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's okay. We have sour cream. We can even, for the purposes of our recipe, we can even add water in replacement of milk. It's okay. Everything is super flexible. It's not the end of the world.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Okay, got our eggs.
No shells, right?
No shells. Good job, chef.
Yeah, thanks. We're gonna grab, if you have a, I don't have any forks, but if you have a fork, it's better. But basically all we're gonna do is we're just gonna whisk this up. Just make sure that, a lot of times I see people season their eggs at this point. Don't do that. Don't do that. We wanna season your eggs at the end, okay? We wanna keep that nice and fluffy.
So is this fried rice the recipe you serve at your restaurant?
No, so we don't have fried rice in the restaurant. We do more of a mixed rice, and we use a different kind of rice. It's a little bit more intricate. You know, we cook our rice a different way. We use a different kind of rice. So we, are
Very different.
very, very different. We don't, I like, the reason why I think that anyone should have a restaurant is to provide things that people can't cook at home.
Oh.
It's like unreasonable to cook what we cook at the restaurant at home. It doesn't make any sense. But why do we do it? Because it's more delicious,
Yeah.
and we have, a very expensive kitchen to do those things
Right.
in, So,
Right.
all right. So I just added a little bit of water to our mixture. You should have a pale, kind of milky color. Okay, cool. All right. Everyone okay with eggs? Everyone cool?
Yep, I see.
Taking out shells.
someone
I see Nancy picking out shells. Thank you. Yep, go ahead. That's okay.
We've got you.
No shells, guys. It's okay. Take your time.
Great job, Emmanuel.
Yeah. All right. What are we doing here?
We're gonna go ahead and get the. There we go.
Okay. So the stove should be at like a medium to low heat. Very important. Okay. We do not want to see any browning of the egg. We want to keep it a very mellow color.
So unlike when we first started this recipe off, when we went high heat for the meat, we're doing medium to low for the eggs.
Yeah. And then it's important that you have all your attention on these eggs when you make this, because it's very fast and you don't want your eggs to burn. And we're looking for a specific type of texture.
Right.
Okay, we want kind of like almost like a soupy texture.
Okay.
That's what we're looking for, okay?
All right.
So like even this is a little bit too high for me. Okay? Make sure that it's low. And again, very important that you have everything you need for this. So we have our egg, we have our cream cheese.
Sour cream.
Sour cream, sorry,
cream.
thank you. Salt. I'm gonna omit black pepper because I don't like to see black pepper specks in my egg. That's just a me preference thing. That's a me thing. If you like pepper in your eggs, put pepper in your eggs. It's okay. Okay. Are we all cool with this this heat, the skillet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see
Everyone
the
cool?
everyone's sour cream. You can tell Nancy's got it. She's ready. She says,
awesome.
"Look at it. I got my pan. I'm ready to go."
Awesome.
Emmanuel's showing us his
Now,
sour cream.
I'm going to show you how flexible this is. If you don't have sour cream, we're using yogurt. Yogurt and sour cream are basically the same thing. They're just cultured dairy. So like, sour cream, if you don't have sour cream, use yogurt. Or use buttermilk.
Right.
Or use, milk with a little bit of lemon juice. That's basically what that is. Okay?
So how much sour cream are they going to need for this recipe?
So 4 eggs, I think I called for like 4 ounces of sour cream, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But again, it's flexible, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's flexible based on, how, if you don't want such a kind of milky texture, then use less sour cream.
Right.
If you
want it a little bit more milky, add more.
If you like a hard cooked egg, use less, right? So it just depends, right? So we're using a good amount of sour cream because we're looking for a good that texture. Okay, everyone good? All right. Also, yes.
4 ounces is a larger cup where the oil came in.
Say it one more time. I'm sorry.
So Alessandra is telling the families that 4 ounces is the size of the larger cup that the oil came in. So if you want to use that larger souffle cup that your oil came in to measure out 4 ounces, that's an easy way to do it. What John's saying is it's not an exact science. You go a little bit more than 4 ounces or less, it'll still turn out just fine.
Yeah. Okay. So make sure, it's so important that your pan is not too hot. We do not want to. Okay. Are we good? All right. Awesome. I'm cool with that. Okay. A little bit of oil. If you have butter, even better. But we don't have butter. Just a little bit of oil. Why put oil into a non-stick skillet? Because it's just more insurance. We don't want anything sticking to any pan. Okay. Okay. Ready, guys?
We're ready.
Let's do it. Already, that's very hot. See, if you see already, I'm not happy with how hot that pan was. So I'm taking it off the heat. And what we're doing is we're just mixing it. We're mixing it. I wasn't happy. That pan was a little bit too hot for us. So we took it off the heat, and now we're mixing the eggs.
Right. Monson, let's get an overhead shot so we can see the consistency of Chef John's eggs. Because this is something that he wants to make sure we don't overcook at all.
You see, look, I was not happy with the temperature of that pan, so I took it right off, and I was ready to rock and roll. So I'm just mixing it. I'm sorry that might have caught some of you by surprise, but that's what happens when you cook eggs. And if you feel like you're not happy with the eggs, throw them away. Start all over. It's okay. Or don't throw them away. Cook them and then eat them. Like, it's not that big a deal.
So you'd call this a really runny egg.
Super runny egg. Like, you see that? Like, it's like, and we don't want, keep the pan moving. It's very important that this goes very quickly. You see that? Like, it's like it's cooking, but it's like very, very runny. Okay? The same, almost like the same color.
So if you were doing this sauce in a blender, how would you be doing this differently?
So the process is completely different. So what we would be doing is we would be frying the egg sunny side up, right? And then basically taking those sunny side up eggs, throwing them in the blender with sour cream, blending it into almost like a hollandaise. That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But you know what? Who needs a blender? This is going to be just as delicious.
You can also look for blenders at the thrift store too when you're out
there. There it is. And like, so look, what am I looking for, guys? Basically, like, we're looking for there to be no moisture left in the pan, okay? And I'm just kind of moving it back and forth, we don't want to, there's no color, right? There's no browning, you know, there's no water leaching. If you see more water, throw it back on the pan, move it. Like, again, super low heat, guys. It will like reduce the amount of mistakes, okay? But it is a fast process. You just kind of have to get used to it. But like, if you're working, if you have a lot of space, if you're organized, you can make anything happen.
Right.
Right? Like just right now, like, you know, something was too hot, but I had so much space to work with that like it didn't make a difference. We were still able to make it happen, right?
Yep.
Okay, so can everyone see that? See what our eggs look like?
Yep.
Can everyone see that?
We got a nice overhead shot. Good
Okay.
job. Mm-hmm.
It almost looks like oatmeal, or it almost looks like, I don't know, like grits or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So look, it's off the heat. So at this point, I'm just going to spoon in some sour cream or yogurt. Now, don't dump the whole thing in. Add in slowly. Okay? Because again, this recipe is flexible. If you don't need to use all 4 ounces, don't use all 4 ounces.
So talk to me a little bit about why you're putting sour cream in your eggs. What are you looking for? Texture, flavor?
It's a flavor thing. It's a flavor thing. It's a texture thing. And you know, this is the most traditional way of making French style scramble, right? When you go to like a French bistro, you're getting scrambled eggs. This is what you're getting, right? You're getting a soft scrambled egg, sour cream, some chives, you know, cooked over a low heat, and a little bit of salt. So when using the blender, right, we're basically taking that same concept and making it into a sauce, right? But this is what I'm showing you now is how you would get eggs at like a French bistro, a really classic French bistro.
I'm learning a little bit about that.
Okay.
You know, they're always so silky and smooth.
Yeah.
And I can see why with the technique that you're showing.
So I added a little bit more sour cream than I would if I was like eating it like as an omelet or as a scramble, as a French scramble. Again, just for the purposes of what the recipe, just for what we're doing, right?
Right.
And I'm just like, it's like, want to just cook out some of that water. You know, we just want to like.
Beautiful.
We want to just, nothing should be sticking to. Okay, it should be one like kind of like happy mixture, right?
It almost looks like a batter in a way.
But guys, I mean, we're making eggs here, guys. Literally 2 ingredients. But look how much time we're spending on just making this, right? So like this stuff matters to me, right? Because it's gonna really like change your perspective on like ingredients and putting time and effort into the things you cook, right? So before we add any salt, we're gonna taste. Guys, how are we doing on the eggs? How are we looking? Is everyone doing well?
I think so. Can we get a shot of somebody's eggs? Let's see. Emmanuel, do you mind showing us your eggs? He's going to show us his eggs.
Please.
There he goes.
I love that.
Okay.
Love that. Yeah. If you find that your eggs aren't cooking fast enough, leave them on the heat. Right? Make sure that they should be kind of cooking at the bottom of your pan, okay?
Yeah, Emmanuel, yours needs to cook a little bit longer, but Nancy, you're looking good.
But don't be afraid. It's better, for the purposes of this, it's better to be too low than be too high, okay? All right, Nancy, you're looking good. I think Nancy's eggs they're done. They're pretty much done. I would add a little salt to that and then taste it. Stacey, you want to taste these eggs with me?
Sure.
Go ahead and grab a spoon. I just put a little salt to it, and then we're just gonna. What do you think?
Oh wow.
Cool, right?
Wow, very cool. It doesn't taste like scrambled eggs at all.
No.
It's beautiful.
Right? It's more of a sauce.
It's like a velvety.
Right. So again, if we're making French scramble, don't add that much sour cream. We're making more of a sauce. We're gonna mix it in with our rice. It's gonna kind of bring the rice in together. Okay?
Okay.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna turn this off.
I'm gonna get out of your way.
No, you're fine. Okay, eggs should be done. Yes?
Yeah, I think so. I think we got our eggs going here.
Okay. Before I move on, I want to make sure that everyone's with me.
Yeah. Yep. I think we're good.
How are we doing on time?
We are running a little late, but then
Okay.
you started a little late, so
Okay.
that's going to happen naturally.
If I'm rambling, which I tend to do, please tell me, like, you know, just cut it short.
You're good. You're
Okay.
good. Everyone's following along.
Okay. Okay. So is everyone ready?
We're ready.
We're gonna put this together.
Okay, this is where it all comes together.
All right. We have our rice. We have our ragu, and we have our egg mixture. Everyone cool? Nothing should be cooking right now, all right? Unless you're still working on your eggs. Don't. It's okay if you're still working on your eggs. Work on those eggs.
They can catch up.
They can catch up, okay? But for the purposes of time, we're gonna go. Those eggs are pretty cool, huh?
Mm-hmm. Very nicely done.
Thank you. Okay. I'll put that over there. Okay, remember that dirty skillet I told you guys to keep? We're gonna go back to that. Okay? Make sure that we wipe all the edges of that pan so that we don't have any flare-ups.
Okay.
Everyone cool? All right. High heat. There it is. High heat. All right. So, based on the size of your skillet, that will determine how much rice you put into your pan. Okay? If you put too much rice into this pan, you're going to have a messy situation with stuck rice at the bottom. You're going to have, it's just not going to be a nice situation. Okay? So be very careful about how much rice you're adding to your pan based on the size of your pan. Okay? And you'll see what I mean. So, hot skillet.
So you got it fired up pretty hot.
High heat.
High heat again.
High heat. Okay? Oil. You can put a good amount of oil in there because rice will stick to everything. It will stick to your life. You do not want rice just stuck everywhere, okay? I have this wok spoon that they have here.
Oh, nice.
Okay? So look, we're just gonna fluff up our rice a little bit. Okay? You should see all the bits kind of bubbling in the bottom of your pan. We don't want to burn it, so we want to make sure we go fast with this, okay? Because there's all these kind of old burnt pieces from the turkey mixer, okay? So once they start kind of bubbling, you can add your rice. Again, add slowly. Make sure that you don't add too much rice. I think that we made maybe the perfect amount of rice here, Stacey.
Great. So this is why you call it fried rice.
Exactly.
Because
We're
you're
frying
now
rice here.
Frying the rice. There you
Yep.
go.
Okay, so, and basically what we're looking for is, and this is where this comes in handy because, so, look, we're looking for like kind of thin layer of rice, okay? Make sure that every grain of rice is coated pretty evenly with oil. Make sure nothing is sticking to the bottom of the pan. Okay? Look at that.
So I can see you're pulling up some of the brown bits
Oh,
there.
yeah.
That's great. That flavor comes
That
right
flavor.
through.
Oh, yeah.
Smelling good, chef.
So now we got like, again, why do we keep the pan? Because now all that ragu mixture is flavoring our rice now. Okay? Okay. We didn't season our rice before we put it in the rice cooker, but we're going to season it now. Okay? So just a little bit of salt. Okay? Make sure that we season everything. Okay?
So what are you looking to do here? Like you're looking to make sure it's all covered in the oil and seasoned.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do.
That's basically it. We're flavoring the rice right now, okay? because this is
But you're not browning the rice.
no.
Right.
It's gonna get brown, you know, naturally, but we're not looking for any specific color. And what we're doing is we're drying out the rice. That's another purpose. So like day-old rice, we're drying out the rice. This process we're using fresh rice, but we're drying it in the pan. Okay? That's why it's important that we don't That's why it's important that we don't put too much rice in the pan, because if you put too much rice in the pan, you're not gonna dry out the rice. It's gonna end up like cooking the bottom rice is gonna cook unevenly, and it's just not. It's just so I have room to work here. Okay,
Great.
cool. Now I add my meat mixture.
Beautiful.
We don't need to use all of it. I have some left over. We'll save that for snacks later.
So now you're just folding in the ragu into
Exactly.
the rice.
Exactly.
So here is where I think typically people would throw in their soy sauce
Correct.
and other things, but you've already built the flavor
Yeah.
in all of the steps. So now it's just coming together.
It's more of a mixed rice, but we're gonna add some fish sauce. We're gonna add some vinegar, right? We're gonna add if we need to add salt, we'll add salt. This is where we'll add, you know, our spices, right? If you really want spice. For those of you that have, you know, sriracha or hot sauce, this is where you'll add that. Or if you have chili flake at home, this is where you'll add that, right? But you know, I think we can use a little more. How about that? Okay. Whenever my mom made stuff like this at home, it would just be like a disproportionate amount of meat to like starch ratio, and it would be all meat. And it's like, wow, she made sure that we appreciate her cooking and that we didn't miss any restaurant food, because she's like, you'll never get this at a restaurant because look how much meat we have, you know.
She's taking care of you.
You made sure we appreciate her and buy, and you know. Okay. And what I'm doing here, guys, is I'm really working hard to scrape the bottom of the pan. I do not want to have rice stuck to the bottom of the pan. That's really what the goal, that's my whole goal. That's my only goal, okay? Okay. Okay.
Nice. Very nice.
All right, so that's mixed. Before I add anything, I'm going to taste it.
To see what it might need.
Correct. I don't want to, if it's too salty, I'm not going to add any more salt, but, you know, it might need stuff. Just as I thought, it needs.
A little more fish sauce.
Not soy sauce,
Not soy
fish
sauce.
sauce.
Your fish sauce.
Just a little bit, guys, okay? Just a little bit.
No, it's looking beautiful. Really beautiful.
And like, again, I'm sorry to cut you off, but as I'm doing this, you know, if there's too much moisture in your pan, then your rice is going to get soggy. You know, you're going to end up with like really like mushy rice.
Right.
And that's not what we want, right? We want like a cooked rice.
Right.
Okay? So, yeah.
And I mentioned before, it's beautiful having all the colors from the carrots and the peas and the onion and so on and so forth. But I also like the consistency because the vegetables are all about the same bites.
Exactly.
And you know, when you're having the fried rice, you don't want to taste a lot of one thing and not get that even flavor from other vegetables.
So now we're adding a little bit of vinegar, guys.
Okay.
I love acid. Like, I love, like, the acidic. I love lime juice. I love lemon juice. If you don't have vinegar and you have lime juice, add lime juice. It's okay.
Right. So go ahead. You should have in your meal kit some vinegar. Go ahead and add the vinegar at this stage to your fried rice.
And we're basically done here, guys. We are done. Okay? You can serve this rice in the skillet if you want. If you don't want to waste a serving bowl. I'm done.
Okay.
Heat off. Now, if you want more garnishes,
And the
remember
ice.
those scallions that we made earlier. You can add them now. Okay, the eggs we're gonna put on top.
Okay.
Okay, don't worry. I haven't forgotten about the eggs.
I was wondering.
Don't
what
worry
you
about
were
it.
doing.
We're gonna add that on top. But this, if you like more onions, we can add them here. Again,
Nice and fresh.
nice and fresh. They're gonna be kind of crunchy. You know, they won't be wilted. You know. Okay. Again, the heat is off, guys. Okay. We're just gonna mix that in. Doesn't that look good?
Oh, it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. That has made a large portion. I would think that you'll probably have leftovers tonight.
I'm gonna use my spatula. I'm gonna get all that off. I mean, that's just like, it doesn't get any better than that.
You have to love cooking and love food to really put the time and care into this.
Okay, that's gonna go into our mixing bowl
Okay.
where we kept our rice.
So we'll bring that over so we can get a camera shot of that.
See, you're gonna end up with all that. Look,
Yes.
I don't waste any of that. Sometimes we would just save that, and that's like the VIP.
That's the best.
That's like, yeah, that's like,
Yes.
you know, that's what the cook eats. You know, if you're the one making the rice, you let everyone eat first, and then you go to the sink, and then you just kind of like, this is your dinner, right? That's just kind of how that
It
works.
is the best.
But, you know, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna add this right in as well, okay? Okay. So let's put this away. Yeah, we can put that away as well. Okay. So, in a mixing bowl, this is what you should have. You can see how the
Yes.
the scallions just like stay green and just
Yes.
so vibrant.
Beautiful.
Cool.
Okay.
To serve. Ready?
Right. Now they have, just to remind you, I know you brought fried shallots.
Mm-hmm.
They have not fried shallots, but something similar to that in their kit. They've got the fried onions.
Right. So again, this is a product that that you can find at basically any Asian grocery store. It's a fried shallot, right? A little bit different than what you'll find at like your regular grocery store. But just so we can see the texture, and this is what I grew up eating, and like I find them to be a game changer.
Yeah. I'll try
I think we
one.
lost some people. It's okay. Isn't that good?
That's really good.
Okay, so let's put this together, shall we?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. One for you, one for me.
All right.
Okay.
And there's some optional ingredients you listed on your recipe. You know, the shallots are one we're talking about as an optional ingredient, but we did include it. We also included some sriracha sauce, but
Right.
a chili paste is what you were looking for, some
Yeah.
sort of chili paste.
Anything, yeah. So look, also sesame oil, right?
Sesame oil.
Sesame oil is an optional ingredient. If you like sesame oil?
I love sesame oil.
So again, this is where we just top it off just a little bit, you know,
Just a little
just a
drizzle.
little bit. I love sesame oil, so we're just gonna put just a little bit. Okay. If you want spice, this is where you add your spice. Don't forget about your egg.
I know Ruth out there, if she's still there and listening, Ruth loves her spices. I was at her kitchen once and saw how many hot sauces she had. So I would imagine she's adding a little bit of spice to her dinner right now.
Okay.
So John, you're impressing me. So I have eaten fried rice my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
It's never looked as elegant as
Thank
this
you.
does. This is amazing.
Oh, thanks so much. I hope it tastes as good as it looks,
Oh,
right?
I'm certain it will.
Okay. And then
Little
just gonna
shallot.
shallot. I like a lot of shallot.
Mm-hmm.
I want shallot in every bite.
You like the crispy.
I love it.
Yes.
Cool. And that's it, guys.
Oh my.
Can we get?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get that close up there if we can. Modson, I'll try to get it for us. There we go. That is one amazing dish, and it's affordable. You taught us something new. You got us involved in cooking, And you know, I'm certain that this is going to be a recipe that people are going to hang on to. So thank you.
I certainly
very
hope so.
much.
I
Yeah.
certainly hope so. Did everyone have fun?
Everybody, we can go ahead and unmute everybody, whoever we have left.
Can we eat this? Is that okay? Can
Yeah,
we eat this?
let's
I'm
dig
like I've been
in.
working
Let's
so hard.
dig
I'm just looking
in.
at this and I just want to eat it.
Yes. Okay, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed you are now our 7th chef.
Lucky
that
number
we've
7.
had.
I love
Lucky
it.
number 7.
I love it. Let's see what this is.
It's really good. Yeah, you've taught me so much tonight. Thank you. Thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you for
Well,
having
we're
me.
going to let you go. Sorry about the audio problems in the beginning. But so glad you stayed with us. I hope you enjoy your dinner. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.